Okay, so um, today I'm going to introduce you to another set of advanced operators. They're called date range operators. And after we get done with this, we will start to run some complex search queries. We have, say, I think, about 20 or 30 that we can run in the class. Not today, but progressively we can finish those. And then I have selected 60 queries that I can just put it in your um, Dropbox for you to practice with. These are combinations of different variations of queries that you build depending on certain situations, which is what is part of your subsequent chapters that are the ones that come after chapter 16 onwards. They're basically giving you, um, different queries given situations. It could be searching for properties, searching for people, searching for businesses, searching for jobs, legal searches, and so on. So they're, kind of a mix of all of those. Um, Now, let me just look at what we have in the date range area. So this is the one. Okay. All right. I have these listed and I'm going to use the notepad. And this is what I was preparing for you. Has any one of you used the date range operators before at all? That gives a range between this day or this date or this month to, a range of another, date before or after, which is giving you a period in which you want the results to be returned date wise, like before colon, after colon, or date range, or anything of that sort. If not, then this is what we will be discussing today. So there are two operators which is very useful in so many ways. Like, for example, there is an operator called before colon and after colon. So what before colon and after colon does is that it can give you a range. Well, basically, right now I'm not talking about the range. I'm just describing the functionality of individual operators. Treat before colon and after colon as separate operators for now. So before colon means that I want the return results to be reflecting a period that comes after the date which I'm about to declare right after the colon sign. So there is this, depending if you know the year only or if you know the entire date, like mm, uh, beside the year, you know the month and you know the day. So the way you're going to write it, or what is um, prescribed by Google, is that we put the year first, then we put the dash, and then we put the month followed by the day. Okay. So this is the pattern, or this is what is recommended. So what you will write here, for example, let's say before 2023 March, and the day, let that be 25th of March. So I'm going to write it exactly as I've shown you, year followed by the month and the day. So this is recommended, but things that happen, which is not suggested by Google, is based on what we attempted and we got the results that basically they're, those results are also looking at the dates in a slightly different manner. For example, you could also write the date with the backslash that replaces the dashes, 03/25. This is also acceptable. You can even write the year if you don't remember the month and you don't remember the day. So you could write 2023, just the year. That's about as much it will accept. If you don't remember, let's say, the month or the day, then you would not get the result uh, by just putting in asterisk, for instance, over here and putting 25. If date range operator before colon is used, it will not work. So this will be incorrect. This will be correct. And so will this, of course. Okay. But if you only use the year 2023, this is workable. So you could say correct. You can declare the year after the before colon sign and just place the year, and it would also work to bring you the result that belongs to 2023, not to 2022 or any earlier date or earlier year. So, no, what am I saying? Okay, so if it is 2023, let me just continue with this example. If I say before 2023, then the results I will get, in fact, would bring any date like 2022, 2021, and 20219 or 2020, but will not bring anything. Any year, anything that you declare after 2023 will not come. If this was 2022 and I wrote before colon 2022, then I would get similarly, if I use the after date or anything that is declared with the operator after colon, similar behavior, everything will be the same. And if I wrote, then I will be getting dates which is after the month of March and after the day 25th. uh, in 2023. So where is it? Taking examples of search query 1, 2, and 3. You can see how I wrote this query. Before I do 1, 2, and 3, I'm giving you a link for you to run in your browser and see this video carefully. This is the link. See if you get it in your chat box and if you can copy and paste it in your browser and try to run this. Romy, can you run it and put it in your browser, please? And Joanne and Majdi, please, all three of you, see if it is running on a YouTube platform. And it's not very long, but well, I'd say it's about 7 to 8 minutes or slightly less than 10 minutes. If you can go through this video, then it'll make my job easier and I can move faster. If it starts to run successfully, then I will leave you to look at it. If anyone can just confirm
It's fine for me.
it's running, Hiromi, it's okay. All right. So I'll let you watch this video and you can, take your time, just sort of, yeah, it just gives you an idea. And then I will continue giving you more examples and we'll run the actual queries. Let me meet back with you in about 10 minutes. Hi, Anthony.
Hey,
Welcome.
Hello, hello. How are you? All right.
Hi, everybody's good. I'm good as well. I hope you had a good
can
weekend. Yes,
Yes,
I
I
have
did.
a, I have a question.
Romy is, yes,
The video is only 2 minutes and 15 seconds, right? Not 10 minutes.
I thought it is, but if it's not, did you finish it all and from the start to finish? It's
Yeah, it
total
was
12,
two
2 minutes. Okay.
minutes. 2 minutes, yeah.
Okay, so there is a second part to it. I will give that to you. I only have this link right now, but we can uh, do some examples just so that we can cover everything that is to do with the date ranges. So one of the things I'm going to mention here is that when you use before and after separately, it's not a date range, obviously. It is just basically declaring something to be returned after or before that exact date you have placed. But when you put both of these operators together in one sort of search query, as in this one that you can see, let me bring it up a little. I'm talking about the three queries, which are examples 1, 2, and 3. So in the third one, you could see I've put before and after in the same query, which means now it is a date range that should return something before the declared date, which is 2019 March the 5th, and after 2019 March the 1st. So this two of these would function together to make it a range of dates that fall in between the ones that are mentioned. Range also is inclusive of the dates that you have declared. So anything that is returned would be after March 1st here. That means um, it will include the date that is shown as March the 1st, and then whatever comes after this. Same thing before 2019, March the 5th. So that's the range part. There is another range operation that we can do, which is not exclusive to the dates. These after and before are for the dates only. But if there are to be a range of two numbers, like for example, I'd say, um, I'm just going to bring it down here. Let's just say that I have a number for which I need a I need a range. For prices, for example, um, let's say HP Spirion, um, laptop to be found, let's say, within a zip code range, which is all numerics, 32835 as a zip code to 32845. Let's say these are the two zip codes, and I need for the search to return the HP and Spirion laptops that are available in these zip code areas, but not to exceed or not to go beyond 32845, and should start with 32835 onwards. Then I'm going to put these two numbers and I'm going to put in between them two dots. These two dots are notations. and these are used to give a range between two numbers. Similarly,
What question?
yes,
So that's only for numbers, not dates, right?
not for the dates, just for the
Right.
numbers.
Okay.
And let's suppose another way that these two dots will work. This is a variation of what I'm showing in 4. Let's suppose I also would like this to be replaced by the price. In that case, it will accept the dollar sign for the price. If I put 300 here, this will also perform with the two dots.
I'm just
Will
wondering,
also work. Yes.
does it also accept other currencies or only dollars?
No, it accepts other currencies because it recognizes these signs for the money. Any kind of
Oh,
money
okay.
except Bitcoins. So just remember that I'm giving you these examples before we start to build these the complex search queries, which is where we are going to use these date ranges, and we're going to also use number ranges. Okay. See, the only thing I'll caution you is when you're doing number ranges, be aware that it is not going to be as accurate because generally the prices change a lot. And because the dynamic nature of the pages that it will lead you to, you will find that the time difference between what is collected as the indexation system or index pages and what is happening on the other side, which is the originating or the original pages, there could be changes or there could be a dynamic code which keeps bringing new prices. And the difference between what is collected or archived or indexed and what is happening on the other side, there could be a little bit of a difference. So keep that in mind. So it is not as accurate because of the nature of the type of information that is reflected in your results, which is more of dynamic type. However, numbers like 328, 35, 328 for the zip codes, generally the tendency is that they remain to be the same. So don't be disappointed if you're not able to find the exact numbers, but the guarantee is that at least you will find the numbers that you have placed here as with the dollar sign or just the price without the dollar sign. They would definitely reflect like 300 and $500. They would be there, and anything in between, like I said, there could be a slight variation based on the dynamic nature of that specific type of product. Especially in e-commerce, it happens a lot. So just so that you know, but when we are talking about the dates, it has to be absolutely um, on the dot correct when you get the results. So the range will not reflect anything before or after the date you have declared. And as I told you, you can also, even though the Google search recommends the structure of how you're going to format or show your dates, but you can also, it is also accepting the backslashes. Okay. just so you know. But when you are giving any ranges or you have after and before in the same query, make sure that both the formats of the dates reflect exact same way of how it is um, when it is compared with the after in this case. So if you're going to do after with the backslash, make sure you do before with the backslash also. And what else it will accept, let me tell you. Sometimes we remember, let's say, the full date with the month and the day, but we don't remember what was anything before a certain day. So you can also write this without using the month and the day along with the full date that is declared earlier. It could be after or before, it doesn't matter. But what will work is something like this. Will be okay, will be correct. This is correct. And this was correct. So everything that I wrote just now is correct. And similarly, if instead of, if let's suppose before had the full date and after had, uh, if the situation is reversed between after and before, it'll still act the same. But what will not work, and definitely it's going to create problems, at times you may write something which is, let's say you only remember the month. This will not work. This will be incorrect. Okay. So these are the examples of what can be written in different ways when you use the before and after operator. Making it as notes so that you remember, I'll put it in your file where that's what I do. And that's the reason I write a little bit more than I am supposed to, just so that it is clearer when you read the notes. Take an example of this search query. Okay. Here, what does it say? Before 2023, February 25th, and after 2022, April 20th. So if you remember these dates, and supposing you want to look for the word fact check to be returned back to you in your search results, with these dates, let's try to run it in a browser to see if the return results fall in between these dates or not. So I'm going to copy this and let me run it here. Now you see these dates. Now let's look at the results. This is January 18th, 2023. which is before the 25th of February. This is January 23rd, December 16, 2022, November 29, 2022. None of the results will reflect a date that is going to be before April 20th, 2022. You can keep looking at the dates and you can compare it. This is July 19, 2022, September 2022. Nothing that is in March or before April 20th will show up. So this is the beauty of it. This is, for sure, a very useful command for us to find something within a specific period of time as far as dates are concerned. Now, I have a long list of queries, which is what I mentioned to you earlier, something that you can always use to practice with. It's a mix of queries. Let me bring that page. Where is it? These are supposed to be 60 altogether. I think this is the page. So, given that we have learned almost all of these operators that are used in these queries, you can start to practice with them, and we can pick and choose to run them as complex search queries. And what I'm supposed to do, generally the students would say that this is a kind of mix of situational queries. So if you have, let's say, in your profession or somewhere that you feel that you get stuck with finding information for yourself, you can always tell me that, look, I'm interested in real estate, or say, legal searches or academic or research papers. Any one of them, you could tell me, and I can pick from the list that are specifically, those queries that uh, would help you out more. So if you get that idea, or somewhere while I'm we're learning some of the queries, you can always think of it and let me know, and then I will do that specific search. I'm going to try to pick something from this list in the meantime that uses a mix of um, operators like in URL, in text, um, something that uses date range. Let's look at this one while we are doing date ranges. Here I am asking, this is query number 17. So I want something to be searched inside of Twitter account, and I want to use hashtag. Now this is another notation that we use. Now, what is the significance of hashtag for search? Especially hashtag that is followed by the words that are to be searched. For example, take this hashtag followed by the word jobs. What is the significance of this? And whatever else that's been placed after the hashtag. These three are words like proofreaders, in fact, copywriters, copy editor, and then jobs. What is the hashtag known for, or better known for, uh, for for the reason of doing online search? A lot of times when you are trying to do search for or within social media accounts, you are told that you should use the hashtag followed by the term that needs to reflect or bring the results from social media exclusively with the wordings that um, sort of is a matching term, and the hashtag is supposed to bring information only from social media accounts. That is the notion. That's what the reason generally why it is put together as word and the hashtag without any
Well,
gaps in between the two.
I have a
So why
question.
does that happen? Yes.
So I was going to say that, but can you also use the @ symbol in place of the hashtag? Because that's
At
also right,
yes, you
the @
can.
symbol.
Yes, you
Okay.
can. Yes, you can. The the reason why at is not directly attributed to the social media accounts, with the exception of your account handles that you were given like in different I guess what is it in Twitter especially you have a handle means that mm, it is your identity, or it is a pseudonym of sorts, or something that is only allocated to you, or there is no duplicate for it. So that at that use of the at is to find the handle, or find the pseudonym or something that belongs to Twitter, because Twitter has somehow adopted the at sign for it to be issued alongside that naming, or that account which is connected directly with that handle. And that handle is called at followed by, for instance, for AOFIRS, my handle in Twitter is at followed by AOFIRSS. Now, nobody else would have AOFIRSS that comes after the at sign. So that is kind of becoming more of a use of a symbol which otherwise was particularly used for email search or email accounts. So these type of different types of conventions, you could say now, because that belongs to a special type of social media accounts. This is where there is becoming a kind of a ownership of those symbols, which is now shifting from one type of social media account to another. Take an example of hashtag. For all we knew about maybe 4 years, 5 years ago, that hashtag was used as something which is followed by a text or a naming that aggregates or is related to, or it is attributed to certain type of information. In other words, it was a title of some sort, and the hashtags were the reason, or the reason for hashtag was to bring a similar type of information in one group, and that group should be represented by the hashtag with the wording that sort of was uh, title to everything that falls under that title. So if it was hashtag jobs on one website that is using hashtag as an aggregator or as a short form of some information that resides inside or has layers that belong to that group, which is represented by the naming followed by the hashtag. That was the reason why hashtag was invented, so that it can, it has got a title under which you can have all different types of information, but all pointing to that title, or that title represents. Now, the hashtag has become a common ground for accounts like Twitter to give you that it has changed somewhat the utility of hashtag, or you could say it has made a broader utilization of the hashtag symbol. Okay. But generally, hashtag is not a domain just of Twitter or Facebook or LinkedIn. When you are uploading, for example, any type of feeds or anything that you want to post, it will ask you to also write under them the hashtags which could be related to, or where you want that hashtag to represent the information that you are putting together or uploading it in the feeds. So when you are doing that, you are basically creating your own hashtags, but those hashtags are pooled together on those platforms, even if it is a hashtag that you created, or there could be a hashtag from before that resembles exactly the same or has the same wording, and it will automatically connect that hashtag you have given with that exact naming, so that it starts to organize that data for others to find easily. Because I could do a search in Twitter, or I could do a search in LinkedIn using just the hashtags. I don't have to write the entire title. I could just find, let's say, within the hashtag of jobs, I can find related tweets or anything that I'm looking for. For example, if I'm looking for a hashtag under which there are a lot of jobs that are placed as a more detailed content that has everything to do with the jobs and nothing else, then I'm going to do a search using hashtag jobs. I can also be looking for the title or the job title copy editors or a proofreader. All these tags are either created by the user, or the social media site already has a library of those hashtags, and it would club that hashtag which you have put in there with what it already has, to give it one interface, or to give it uh, the same um, or to make it appear under these wordings, which is after the hashtag. So if I need to find in Twitter the hashtags copywriter, proofreader, copy editor, and I want it to be found inside of Twitter only, and I want the return results to be in the date range, like these ones right here, you could see, I would be able to get to that information quicker or quickly. But with these ORs in between, I'm making it more flexible. And if I find that these are not sufficient, then there is another query I can generate. But for now, let's suppose I want the search to stick to twitter.com. Then I will try running it in the browser and see what results I get. I have this correct. I might have to log into my Twitter account first. So let me see if I remember the password. Twitter.com. Only if I remember. Oh, come on. This is the problem. Anyway, let me run this.
I've got a question related to hashtags.
Yes.
Yeah. Is there a website showing the most used hashtags per topic, or is just
If you
common
go to
sense?
twitter.com, if you go to twitter.com, it has a section and an area where you could see the the
Trending.
trending tweets. Yes.
Yeah.
Or you could see some more data. It depends on analytics. If you want to take or pay them a fee, or there's a special account that you can subscribe to, it will give you insight. It'll be, a mix of graphs. It will be a mix of popular hash terms. All that data that is publicly available will be given, you will be able to look for that in that area. So let's say Vira, Germany. I open this one. Let's see what it says. Here you could see that this is the tweet from Germany by the account that is at Vera Germany. This is the handle of the account. And you could see that they have placed a job on creative writing and they have used a hashtag. Now, even if you are actually uploading something or bringing to attention a post in your tweet, you will be better off to use, while you're writing that tweet, to use the hashtags. Like, see this one, they have used hashtag. And so it was easier to find because, it is falling under creative writing, content, jobs. Okay, all of these are here. So these are, what you call the hashtags. And this helps you to get to the exact page of information. Similarly, Royal Matador recruitment and outsourcing, all of these tweets will start showing up. So when you're doing searches like this, you can do it with the hashtag. Now, supposing if I want to change this a little bit and I say that I want something searched in the social media account, but not really in the Twitter, not only in Twitter, because Twitter does not have any monopoly on using hashtags. As I told you, it is generic notation that is used for, creating tags or hashtag related content. So instead of writing site twitter.com, I could, and by the way, the date is of significance also. You will find that the dates will also fall in between this period. So let's suppose I change this a little and I don't particularly want to deal with the mm, Twitter. Let's suppose I use the word jobs and I put in text. Now I want something on the page that has the word jobs in it. And within that, you have these hashtags. Generally, it will pull a lot of social media accounts because this has become a norm to use the hashtags with the wordings. And after, let's make it more realistic. After 2022 March, or not even March, let's say, um, but before, let's say May, May 20th. Now, let me try to run this and see what we can pull out from the search. Dates are correct. The thing is correct. It's correct. ProWriting8.com is the site that is bringing the results. LinkedIn, Upwork, Twitter, Instagram. So, like I said, using the hashtag is not just the domain of social media accounts. It is not owned by just the social media accounts as you would read online in articles and so many blogs I've seen. They're actually telling you to, if you have to search social media, you use the hashtag, but that's not a correct statement. Hashtag means that it can be used anywhere. Like even on my website, we use hashtags. That's just to make or aggregate same type of information under one heading. That is the reason we use hashtag. But because most of the social media accounts now depend on hashtag as the way to be able to find the similar information or same information with that heading, that's why they just think that it's only the social media accounts when it's not. So anyway, the dates you can also see. See, a lot of times if the date is not shown in the results like it is shown here, and it's not typical, like the date will be revealed in the snippets. The only surety is that when you click on the links, you will find either on this page, for example, or somewhere in the source code, the date or the date tag, which is time and date stamp, would be it's a discretion of the programmer to either reveal that or just to leave it in the coding and not to make it visible to the users. It is done intentionally for more than a few reasons, but one main reason that I can tell you is that they want to recycle that same information, just changing it a little bit, or where they want to reuse a piece of article that's been published before, but they want to recycle it by changing it a little bit, um, so that it looks fresh information. So that could be another reason. But anyway, if you want to look at the dates, this is where it will show up. And if you click on it, you will see the exact dates. So here, carriers, you see Facebook is returning result. Pinterest is also social media. Um, all social medias for sure use hashtags, but not all websites use hashtag. So you can see these hashtags. So when you go on this site, this page, you will see that these hashtags are for you to click on, or these hashtags are information sets where you can click on it, or these would be navigational, and you can click on it and go to this subject matter that would reveal everything that is allocated the hashtag copywriter. Okay, when you go on this website. And besides that, here is another way of writing a search query using the date stamp. And this is when you are looking for opportunities um, for jobs as copy editors and so on. You can also run it using in URL. So if you compare 17 with 18. In fact, let me just stay here. So, compared with 17 and 18, 18 is used in URL colon tag. So what does the word tag mean to be present in the URL? It means that the page that this will lead you to will actually have in the URL the word tags. The tag can be a subfolder, which is otherwise a navigational tag, where you make your selections and then you go to the pages on that website and then you click on tags. So if it is tag or tags as a word somewhere in the link, the likelihood is that it will lead you to a page which has the hashtags like hiring, jobs, copy editors, and so on. So let me just make slight innovation here. I want to put tags as in plural in case the word tags as a plural is missed out, which I don't want. I might just do it like this. And hiring, I should perhaps put another or here. And now run this. Let me change the dates. This looks better. And it won't matter if you put the before operator where the after operator is and put the after subsequent to the before operator. It switching both of these would not matter. So let's not worry about 18.1. I'm going to run this query. It took me to LinkedIn. And let me click on this. I don't want tags as a word or a title of something. So it's not, I mean, the hiring is there, but I don't particularly like tags to be used as a title somewhere on the page. I want tags to be a section or an area. So I didn't actually enjoy this one. So I
We
would
can
change it.
we can add
Yes.
the minus in title colon tag so that we can remove the tag titles. No?
Well, we can do it, but I don't want this to be part of the URL. I'd rather make some changes, and this is what I would do if I have to use in URL. Perhaps the better place to find these would be job or jobs, and instead of using job as a, because if it's in URL, maybe they have something in the link which is a subdirectory name like job or jobs. So maybe that could be another thing I can try. But I didn't like the word tags to be part of the title. I wanted to be the page named job, or where the page is coming from a navigation that is job for job or jobs. So I got flex jobs, super copy editors. Okay. Indeed, LinkedIn. So let's suppose I go here. LinkedIn is where people like to go search for the jobs. So we've got the word jobs here. And on this page, assistant editor, writer editor, temporary editor. So when you go and do clicks on any of these jobs, like edited jobs we are looking for, these are all coming under hashtags, and the hashtags are not revealed on the page for the user, but it is in its source code. That's why you are seeing these jobs, assistant editor, editor jobs, and so it continues. And by the way, these are very dynamic pages. This will keep changing like on regular basis. So keep that in mind that because of that, what is indexed versus what is reflected in between the time gap when something changes on one side and where the collected document is already in the archive, there could be a change um, in the contents. And one more thing we can do, we can just let go of all of this right here and make it a more broad search. I wanted to look for these three words. Even I would add, yeah, instead of hiring, let's go directly to these wordings where we can find it. Most probably you'll see a lot of social media accounts. It's LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. At least all the famous social media accounts will be there. Copywriter. These are all hashtags. And you can see the dates also, by the way, they will be in the same date ranges. Now, what happens if I want to look for a job with two dots? Two dots is the date range. Is not just it can be a date range as long as they are numbers, but you don't need it for for the date range, just for the numbers. So numbers for the, let's say, salary offered. If I make a change in the query, let's call it 19, and I want to look for something. uh, Salary range. Usually the two dots these days with Google is not working as perfectly as we'd like it to. But under the circumstances, this is the only option we've got. So let's try this. In text means I want to find it on the page, any page that has these hashtags. Let me try. If this query is not working, then your job is to write it down again and see how you can. There is some constraint that is not functioning. So we have to put this back here again, and this is exactly how we do our searches so that you can see the method of trying to make it work.
Looks like you have a space
Hmm.
in front of job.
This one is single. Yeah, this should be all right, I think. Um,
The first job. In text, there's a space, right?
no, I don't think so.
No? Okay.
Yeah, no, it looks like from your side it's pairing that way. So let's focus on this number. So now what happens is I'm going to, instead of writing before date range, I'm going to try to write 2022 just to open it up a little and get rid of before. Just figuring out what is it that is not making it execute. So I'm going to try a few variations and then the correct my search or see what is acceptable and what is not. I knew that was creating a problem. So I just used after because we are working with two ranges. Sometimes it may become a problem. On the other hand, the next problem we're going to face is that previously when we were testing out two dots, the range of numbers, we were getting numerous errors. So when Google is updating something or making some changes, things like this happen. But given a little bit of time, maybe a month or so, it just gets ironed out. So anyway, the first one that I'm looking at, or the first result that I would like to see is, I guess, this one. Okay. Here you see copywriting is a pairing. And there could be a date somewhere. If it is not visible here, it will be in the source code. Where is the date for this? There should be a date of when it was uploaded. It's definitely in 2023 somewhere. Anyway, this is from 2023. I have not mentioned the exact date, but I just put the year, which is after 2023, 2022. So everything is coming from 2023. This is for sure. But you could see that there are hashtags here. Now, on the other hand, if I want, and there is no mention of the amount, 3,000 or 5,000, Control F. This is another issue. Now what I'd be doing is getting rid of the hashtags because I will chase after the wordings rather than just the hashtag as a symbol. So if I go like this, copywriter jobs, date is fine, it's 2023, nothing from 2022 will show up. But on the other hand, let me click on this to see if the range dots are working or not. By the way, stay away from the site indeed.com or simplyhire.com. They're just collecting your resumes. They will never give you a real job. So I don't really particularly like them. And I think that they're not as honest. They should be very clear about the information that they collect, how they're going to use it. What's happening here?
Yeah, I agree. I have to agree with that.
Yeah, there's just okay. So there is a pay hourly range. Um, urgently hires hiring. So if you go, I guess, to any of these links, they would have the salary somewhere. But because we started with hashtags, so we sort of created a search which is not as useful if we have to look for, let's say, a salary range. Perhaps a better way of writing it uh, is what I will just show you. Better way of writing a query that gives a range for the salary. See this? Okay, let's just create one that is going to be a better way of writing salary range. But let me just check few more. This is the result we have. Uh, Indonesia. Here is the salary range mentioned. Where is 5,000? Hmm. 3,000 is here. Now I will like to look at this search query. 33. Looking for Airbnb, rent 1,500 to 2,900. Square feet is tricky because some people like square backslash feet, some like write square dash feet, some use 3,800 with the, you know, with the squared symbol at the top. So I don't want to use this one. instead of spoiling this query, let me just create it slightly differently. So I want to run it without using square feet. Okay. And this is the range that I would like to, like I said, the two dots are very finicky and not durable. The price 1500 to 2900. You got 1580, 1670, nothing exceeding $2,900. Okay. So you can make the query with the two dots like that. In the meantime, I want for you to take a break right now for maybe 5-10 minutes, and then think of a search that is in your mind for which you really want to get some information, but you're finding it a bit difficult to do those searches. Anything that comes to your mind, just create a situation or think of something. When I come back, let's build a search query. And then we will do about 4 or 5 examples of more complex searches after I get done with, if you have anything in mind. If not, then we'll meet back in about 10 minutes or so. All right. Okay. Okay, I'm back and let's try to do some searches. I'm going to try another query which I've picked from the list here. This is query number 59 and see this one. I need to go to Best Buy in Canada, and this is partial URL that I have actually extracted from the link which takes me to Best Buy in Canada, not in US. I want in URL, which means the laptop could be the section or the sub navigation or a folder which will reflect on the page using in text colon the word review or the word reviews or the word rating for Toshiba, or you could say that these are because these are comparisons and I've placed Toshiba, HP and Acer within quotation marks. I could have also done the OR command, but let's suppose these are the three that I need, and I need $500 to $650 as a range. So I copy this and I try to run it in the browser, and let's see what it does for me. Best Buy, Toshiba, HP, Acer. Okay, this looks all right. Let me run it now. Laptops, okay. So I see that it has Acer, HP and all that. Let me click on it. Let's look at the page. It has Acer, HP, Acer refurbish 139. So it has the price ranges that is 500 plus and 500 to $650. I can find laptops that are in between the prices 500 to sorry, what was the price? Uh, between 500 to 650. So 500 but does not exceed 650. In the link, you can see that this is the part of the URL I used in URL, and I captured this to give it a direction of where to go. It has in the subdirectory the word laptops, and the title is the best laptops under $600. And here is the comparison. You can click on these and it will give you reviews, comparisons, and so on. These are the reviews. Finding telephone numbers. $24 and $25. This is another example. Here I want on the page the word tel or the word telephone, and I'm trying to find an email as a word on and within Honeywell or at honeywell.com means I'm looking for emails that has the email address with the domain honeywell.com, and you could see that I have placed two asterisks before and after the word marketing within quotes to include any of the titles that has to do with marketing, which could be a word that can come after marketing, like marketing manager, or in the first instance of asterisk, it could be executive marketing, VP marketing, and all that. So pretty much allowed for the asterisk to find anything to do with marketing or sales as a job title. Let me try this. Looks okay. Contact us page. Lot of times in the contact us page, you may not be able to see the email address. They hide it deliberately. But when you click on any of these links that is asking you to give more details about, who you want to contact and so on. For instance, global tracking, this is the phone, this is also the phone. You could actually find these email addresses that are apparently hidden here, but they can be further navigated through all of these, or they can be revealed in the source code when you do page source code. So contact us. Let's suppose if I click on this, all these are phone numbers, but it is just filtering and bringing you the contacts, but they are not on the same page. They are navigational, yet they would be on the same script in the source code. Email is there, but they have hidden that in the code so that you don't actually find it as visually available. but it will be there in the code. When you click on those navigations, go to the support, you will find it. But let's take the second example. In the return results, this is got email, it's got phone, the word tell, marketing and support. In this example, I need to discover a PDF file that has on the page the telephone number, uh, the word telephone or TEL, email, Honeywell, marketing, and all of that. And I want it in, say, Calgary, and the phone codes can be 403 within parentheses, or it could be just 403. So if I try this one, let's see if I discover the PDF files that contain this information. This is a PDF file. Yes, it is.
I have a general question.
Yes. Go
So
ahead. Yes.
these PDF files are most likely they're pulled from a website, basically, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, they're pulled from the website. Of course, everything is connected to a website, all pages in HTML. But when the indexing process happens, you should know that there are two ways for the system engineer or the programmer to upload the file or to give a link on that page that leads to a PDF file.
Right.
So both instances it will be found. But when you do file type colon PDF, it means that it is taking you directly to the already uploaded PDFs. If you chose to use the operator instead of file type, you use, remember how I told you you can use the colon sign alone. You can also use in URL as something of a word that is the three letters P, D, and F to be found, which does not guarantee that it is actually a PDF file. The PDF can be part of the title or it could be part of the link. So you can discover PDF files using in URL and using file type, but the file type is only specific to the uploaded page that the programmer already puts in as visible, or for the PDF to become visible for the users, it is going to create a link that has an extension .pdf attached to it. And this is more like an automated process. Anytime he's going to default or ask that link to follow into a PDF version of a file, it will show up on the web or on the pages that you collect when you're running the file type colon. So that's the action that's going to take place. And not only that, it goes step further and it starts to scan through the PDF version, which is a format different from the HTML version. HTML is typically, is got the tags that has embedded text in it, which is red, obviously, because it's a HTML code. But at the same time, it treats PDF as a textual document, but it adds a process at the time of indexing to collect all or extract the textual content of that PDF at the same time. So that, as you saw, I did Control F and it found, those wordings, the ones that we like to get through the query search. It is attending to it by relating and connecting with the words that were originally in the PDF format, but because it needs to be matched with your search terms in your search queries, it is made available to you by extraction, by the process of extraction. So PDF is considered a textual document in that sense, even though it is in a PDF format, which is originally different from HTML.
The reason why I asked that is because there's been times that I pulled up a PDF and that was it. It was not attached to a web page or anything. I was just wondering how they got it on the internet. I was looking for the source, but that's all it was. It was just a PDF in a list that I pulled.
But the PDF, when you opened it, the PDF format is what you got to see on your screen, right?
Right.
When you clicked on it. So when you look at that PDF, it is the reason why it is showing on your side is because the PDF has the ability to get embedded in the URL or becomes part of the URL with HTTP protocol that allows for it to become visible on your site. So even though it is a PDF, but because of how the structure of the URL is built, and because of it having the ability to show up as a PDF, is only due to the structure of the URL that is acceptable norm, or you could say it is an acceptable rule. Now, supposing if it was a JPEG, PNG, MOV file that you want to get using a file type, it's not going to show up. Why? Because that format is not acceptable, while PDF is acceptable, DOC is acceptable, XLS is acceptable. Those are all available through the link to be displayed for the user. Whereas the other formats, like anything with the extension .jpg, .img, is not something that is actually indexed at the time when it is fetching those pages and collecting them for its indexing system. It is not, making or collecting those images separately, or those images are, or those movie files and others are not becoming part of the indexing system. So far it is like this, and this is the reason why they did separate image searches separate searches for MOV, separate searches for movies like in YouTube. When you click on videos, all you get is YouTube's videos mostly. So that function is slightly different from, you know, getting the, so you just giving you a mechanics of how the indexing system is responsible for making certain file formats visible for you.
Okay.
Mm. Anything that comes to your mind you want to search for?
Well, you said you was going to tell us about job opportunities, and I have to be honest with you. I would not know how to
Okay, I hear
begin.
you. I hear you. Okay. Yeah. So let's look at some of the ways we can search for jobs. Um, Query 16 and 16A is what we can try. You can use these as a format, and you can basically change um, the search terms. In 16, it is a very long search query. Why? Because it has a lot of words, and it has more than a few of these operators working. So in URL colon, let's suppose I want in the URL a navigation or something that takes me to a section that is talking about hiring, or it's talking about jobs or careers. You know how you see on websites at the top navigation, you see something that has wordings like career, jobs, and hiring. Do you recall that?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So that's the reason I put these three words. And by the way, this has to be a gap here. So I could do a better job if in URL I also match it with another instance of in URL colon jobs in URL colon career. So any of these three wordings that are in part of the URL will take me to those specific pages that either has the navigation that says careers or jobs or hiring, right? And in the title part, which means the page itself that talks about jobs available, career opportunity, remote jobs. I just put them within quotes because they are two words. So let's suppose one search term over here, or this one, or this, so any of these three would work. Normally, I put in title as a second instance just to make sure it is part of the title, but because this query is already very long, it will probably uh, be more than 168 characters, or some reason that you feel that it is way too long, just leave it without adding more instances of the in title as we did here with in URL. So to make it simpler, we can use remote jobs, jobs available, career. In fact, I can even make it in text to find and discover pages under the heading hiring, jobs, or careers that talks about on that page jobs available, career opportunities, and these three words basically. In fact, work from home is an additional word. So let's try this, and then I'm going to use in text if this one is not working. To carry it further, you could see that with the word software engineer, application architect, information technology, these are job titles. And more than likely, the job titles will be displayed on the page as a body of text, or anywhere on that page, these wordings should appear. In text, again, on the same page, you want the words flexible or the word contract. By the way, can you tell the difference between, or what might happen if I don't put the word, the operator in text, as I did with the word flexible? I did not do the same for the word contract. So what could be the differentiator when we don't put, or continuously don't compare in text with another instance of in text? I'll tell you what happens then. The way the search is going to look at this type of, or where I have not used in text alongside the contract, is because the in text will guarantee that the word flexible is present on that page. However, the word contract is given a more loose kind of comparison to have its presence not necessarily on the page or the middle part of that page, but it can be part of the URL, and it can be also part of the title. So to make it more flexible, but no guarantees that it is something that we are directing within the body itself or the middle portion of the page. That's why I left it, as a slightly loose term, to be accommodated anywhere on the page, whereas the word flexible should definitely be there on the page. Okay, that is written. So, because see, when you create a long query, it's hard to troubleshoot sometimes, and it's not as feasible yet. It is flexible. It has tendency to bring you some, more refined results. There is obviously a lot of context that is put into this one. So let me try and run this. It's a very long one. I hope it works. Let's try it. Supposing I don't want Indeed, I don't want Zip Recruiter, Adecco staffing, and things like this, then we have got another problem. Now we have to add the minus signs to eliminate all of these unnecessary results, which we know for a fact is not really going to materialize as an opportunity. Yet they're showing up. But my advice is not to make it lengthier by adding, for example, I might just add over here minus indeed.com minus ziprecruiter.com minus what is that, Adecco. I can even try to do that. It's now become a very long search. Flex job is another one. These never end. These ones like flex jobs is same as, it's the same business as simply hired, or probably they're, connected. Anyway, LinkedIn is where I got software engineer remote jobs on the page. What you are discovering here in the description part is a result of in-text query, right? And in California, yes, you have a question?
So this search is basically worldwide.
Is what?
Well, did you specify the country, or I don't
I
see
think
it here.
in text I wrote Florida,
Oh, okay.
and I
I see
wrote
that.
California.
Okay.
Um, Yeah, either in Florida or in California.
Okay.
You can put North Carolina.
No, I recognize some of those businesses.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
No, they're everywhere. You know how businesses are,
right.
they're everywhere. In this one, in 16A, I think this is just the variation of the previous one. But as far as jobs, another important thing I would add to the jobs beside location could be, the freshness of the information. Like, I want recent return results. Like, I don't want something that's a position that's been there, but it's not current. So that won't work either. So I can even put, I was making it way too long. I can put in URL, maybe 2023, or I can even do after, say, or it's 11 after of 2023 and 31st. Now we are expecting too much from the search. It's a very long one. Okay, run it anyway. Remote jobs at Boeing. In URL, we had put the word jobs. It has all the jobs listed, and these are the newest ones. See, you could see it is after October 31st, all of these. So that was a good addition, to the search. Now I have this list of searches that I think could be useful for you, not only to practice with, but also they look like hands-on practical searches that you may need off and on. So I'm going to save it for you in the mm, in your notes. Um, yes.
I've got a query. I'm not sure whether
Now you remember. Finally, it's coming up. Okay, it's all right. Go ahead, please tell me.
yeah, for example, media articles about the latest education trends. However, written by top experts in the world, because we tend to look, to learn about different topics. But how can I, for example, search, let's say, the latest trends in the education sector, written by top experts? I'm not looking necessarily for academic articles. Let's say I just have some time to, to read through media articles, however, specialist media outlets, not just, So what would be the best
Well, you have to
strategy?
be careful with the wordings you're using. If you're going to use the broad term like articles from experts, nobody in the practical sense would use that wording to display or upload or give a title to a article. So unless you're specific about who you're talking or who you're referring to as an expert, if you know the person or at least you have 8 or 10 names of those people that are more regular writers of the subject and you consider them professionally sound and have a good details that they provide and accurate information, you can first of all Google and search for those names or those people who are in this specialized space of writing or qualified writers, and then you can be more specific in running the query with those names, as a sequence of queries to collect those articles. That would be my approach. Otherwise, I would just write it the way I'm writing it now. As you can see, I'm putting it there.
Okay. And when it is a new
Uh,
topic, let's say you
Education
don't.
trends. Okay. Now, first of all, what is the uh, type of information you need? You need articles, you need research papers, because research papers on the trends are also available. So I have used the word articles or article in the URL to lead me to a link that contains these words. More than likely, this sections or this area would reveal pages that belong to articles or article. More of information that I need on. If I'm looking for articles, I would not put file type PDF. Why? Because articles are usually not found in the PDF formats. However, if I'm doing something that is research oriented, something that is more serious, kind of information that is, more to do with the the I guess I could say that more vetted information or say verified information like data, you will probably find it in the PDF. So I would use file type PDF to get to that. But let's suppose we start with article or articles. And what is the wordings that you would use if it is the trend in education, education trend or
Yeah, for example,
education? Just
trends.
put education separate as a word and use trend as another word, because you don't know if education and trend together forms a search phrase which may actually not exist. Yet with the word education and trend, the likelihood is that you will find it, discover it somewhere in the articles. You want the latest, or you want now more information, context. What else would you think? Education trend in what? Where?
It could be
Which industry?
universities. Which industry? Yeah, yeah. Let's say it's continuing education. I'm not talking about formal education. Let's say in the tourism sector, for example.
Continuing education. I'm not putting it within quotes, so to not restrict it too much, let's see what it brings. And in the tourism industry,
Yeah, or travel.
it's going to be tight, but let's try it.
Yeah.
Did you want anything between date ranges, or do you think
Uh,
if it is an older,
maybe as we said, the latest maybe since 2023.
then just put 2023 in URL. Don't put before or after, because
Oh,
that's for the range. I could just put it, assuming that there would be this um, in this information in the URL. Let me try. Discussion on teaching of travel agency management, tourism industry, trend,
mhm.
development trend. You would get a good result if you know how to articulate the query just the way I did. I will leave it for you to discover because it's late. Everybody probably needs to go. Let me capture this query and leave it with you.
Thanks.
I'll also put it here somewhere. and I'm going to put it in your search box, in your chat box. Okay. And then we are done. I'll let you all go.
All right, so we meet Wednesday, right?
Yeah, we meet Wednesday, and after that, I guess it's Thanksgiving weekend, so there is no class on Friday.
Right.
Where there? Okay, Majdi, this is for you, or for let's make it for
Thank
everybody.
you.
You're welcome. There you go. So anyway, thank you very much for attending, and I hope to see you day after. And then there is Thanksgiving, so 4 or 5 days off. I hope you have
All
a
right.
good holiday later and look forward to it. Thank you. Good evening and very good morning to two of you at least. Bye bye for now. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Good
See
night.
you next time. Thank you. Good night.